I used to think infidelity was something that happened to other people. Never to me, never to us. Rachel and I had been married for 8 years. Sure, the passion had dimmed over time, but I thought we were solid, secure in that quiet kind of happiness that comes with familiarity. Comfortable, trusting, safe. Then came the day I returned early from a business trip. I should have felt relief pulling into the driveway, but instead, my stomach tightened when I saw Daniel's car, my best friend's car, parked out front. I brushed away the unease. Maybe he was just dropping something off, helping Rachel with a leaky faucet, borrowing tools. Nothing unusual, but as I approached the house, the bedroom curtains shifted, just slightly. And then I heard it, her laugh. Not the polite chuckle she gave at dinner parties. Not the soft giggle she used with strangers. This was a kind of breathless, gasping laugh I hadn't heard in years. The one she used to make only with me. My heart plummeted. I should have burst through the door. I should have confronted them both, shouted, slammed, demanded answers. But instead I stood there, paralyzed. Then I did something worse. I turned around, got back in the car, and drove for hours, numb. Somehow I ended up at a dimly lit dive bar on the edge of town. That's where I saw her, Lena, Daniel's wife. She was sitting alone, swirling a glass of red wine, her wedding ring catching the low light as she scrolled through her phone. When our eyes met, hers were hollow, distant. "Rough night?" she asked. I slid into the seat beside her. "You could say that." She gave me a crooked smile. "Let me guess, wife cheating." I froze. "How did you?" Her phone buzzed. A call. Daniel. We stared at each other, the air thickening between us. "You're his wife." I murmured. She exhaled, bitter and sharp. "And you're Rachel's husband." Silence. "To shitty spouses," she muttered, raising her glass. I clinked mine against hers. That night, we didn't talk about Rachel or Daniel. We talked about everything else. Stupid movies, childhood disasters, lost pets, places we traveled but never enjoyed. We laughed, real laughter, and for the first time in months, I felt something flicker back to life in me. When the bar closed, Lena leaned close, her breath warm and steady. "You want revenge?" I clenched my jaw. "Yes." Her lips brushed my ear, and everything after that was a blur. Tequila, heat, fury, desperation. Her nails digging into my back as I slammed her against the wall. Her voice rough in my ear. "Make it hurt for them." Her teeth on my lip, drawing blood. I woke in motel room, tangled with her. Her leg draped over mine. Her hair fanned across the pillow. Sunlight leaked through cheap curtains, casting lines across her skin. Reality came crashing down hard. She stirred, eyes half lidded with sleep. For a long moment, neither of us said a word. "Regrets?" she asked, her voice raw. I should have said yes. I should have left. But the angry red marks I'd left on her collarbone, still fresh, made something dark in me shiver with satisfaction. Not a single one. I lied. She smirked. Liar. Her phone buzzed again. 12 missed calls from Daniel. She silenced them with the flick of a thumb. "That's okay. We don't have to pretend this is anything but what it is." "And what is it?" "Payback," she said, standing slowly, the sheet slipping down her body. "Unless you're too scared to keep playing." 3 hours later, I stood on my porch, keys in hand, heart racing. I wasn't sure what I expected. Rage, tears, maybe silence. Instead, the house was still. No confrontation. Just a single note on the kitchen counter in Rachel's careful, looping handwriting. "Gone to my sister's. We need to talk when you're ready." I crumpled the paper in my fist. Coward. Then my phone buzzed. "Meet me at his place. 8 p.m. where the cologne she hates." Lena. A slow grin crept across my face. Daniel's loft was everything he pretended to be: modern, expensive, cold. Steel and glass. No soul. I rang the bell, my pulse drumming in my ears. The door opened. "You're late," Lena purred. She wore nothing but Daniel's unbuttoned dress shirt. Her bare legs gleamed in the hallway light. She tugged me inside by my tie. He's at a work dinner, she said, fingers already unhooking my belt. We got time. I should have said no. Should have walked away. But the thought of Daniel returning to find the scent of me in his sheets, my print on his wife. I kissed her hard, her laughter breaking between our mouths as she pushed me onto the couch. Good boy, she whispered. Just before midnight, keys rattled in the lock. Lena froze, straddling me, her lips swollen, her eyes glinting. Right on time, she whispered. The door opened. Babe, Daniel's voice cut off. I turned my head and met his stare, shocked, confused, betrayed. Lena didn't flinch. She slid off me slowly, smirking. Surprise, she said. Then to me, ruin me the way they ruined us. I didn't go home after. I drove aimlessly until I landed in a greasy all-night diner. The waitress didn't ask what I wanted, just poured black coffee into a chipped mug and slid it toward me. I must have looked like a man who needed it. At dawn, Lena texted. He packed a bag, said he's staying with her. A photo followed. Daniel's car parked in front of Rachel's townhouse. No shame, no pretense. They weren't hiding it anymore. Then the next message, your move, Ethan. 3 days later, I walked into the lobby of Rachel's law firm, a bouquet of roses in hand. Her assistant blinked in confusion. Mr. Cole, Rachel's in a client meeting. I'll wait. When she stepped out, polished and poised in a cream blazer, her smile froze the second she saw me. Ethan. I crossed the floor, my voice loud enough to echo. I miss you. Her cheeks flushed as her colleagues glanced over. What are you doing? I pulled her into a close embrace and whispered, Lena says hi. Then, louder, dinner tonight? She gritted out, 7. The restaurant was one we used to love. White tablecloths, soft violins, candlelight flickering in the glasses. Daniel would have hated it. Rachel stabbed at her salad. Tension stiffened her shoulders. Is this some kind of joke? She whispered. I smiled and took a sip of wine. I ordered the scallops. Remember? Our anniversary. She looked like she might cry or scream. You're with Lena. I leaned closer. Am I murmured. Or am I just doing what you did first? The clock blinked 5:53 a.m. when her phone buzzed with a message from Daniel. Where are you? I smirked, eyes flicking to the screen. Better answer him, I said. It was just past midnight when Rachel's porch light flickered as I walked to the door. She paused at the threshold, eyes searching mine. This isn't you, she hissed. You're right, I murmured, brushing my thumb gently across the faint tan line where her wedding ring used to sit. The old Ethan would have begged. And the new one, she whispered. The new one, I leaned in, voice low, controlled. He wins. A shadow shifted behind the curtains. Daniel, watching from the window. I kissed Rachel's cheek with deliberate care. Sweet dreams. As I drove away, my phone vibrated. A message from Lena lit the screen. You're ruthless. I like it. A second message followed. A photo. Her in my bed, wearing my shirt, raising a glass of my whiskey to the camera with a smirk. Hurry home. We have plans. She was waiting for me when I walked in. The room was dark, lit only by city glow. She sat on the edge of my bed, legs swinging lazily, a half-empty bottle of my finest bourbon dangling from her fingers. You made her squirm, she purred, nudging my discarded shirt toward me with a toe. I watched Daniel's Instagram stories. He looked ready to murder someone. I snatched the bottle and took a burning swig. This isn't a game anymore. Oh, Ethan, she cooed, rising to her feet without a sound, her bare skin gleaming in the dim light. She closed the space between us like smoke. It was always a game. You're just finally learning the rules. Her nails dragged slowly down my chest. But if you want to quit, I don't. The lie tasted bitter, and she smiled like she'd known it would. Daniel called at 3 a.m. His voice was shredded, on the edge. Meet me? Now. The old Ethan would have let it ring. But this Ethan, the one who'd learned to live on the ache of vengeance, he went. The abandoned dock reeked of fish and gasoline. Daniel stood beneath a flickering streetlight, his knuckles split, his eyes feral. You win, he spat. Take whatever the hell you want. Just leave Rachel out of it. I laughed, sharp, cold. Funny, you didn't offer me that courtesy. He lunged. We crashed into the railing, with splintering beneath our weight. His fist slammed into my ribs. I kneed him hard in the gut. She loves me, he wheezed. I shoved him back, pulled out my phone, and held it between us. A screenshot of Rachel's secret Instagram. Her hand, just yesterday. Thumb absently brushing the bare place her ring used to be. Daniel froze. When I got home, Lena was gone. No note, no message. Just a ghost of her perfume on my pillow and one single earring on the nightstand, delicate, expensive. The same pair I'd seen Rachel wear last Christmas. My stomach dropped. The call went straight to voicemail. Then came the notification. Her voice, smooth as silk and sharp as broken glass. You wanted revenge, Ethan? Now watch what real destruction looks like. Before I even turned on the news, I knew. Prominent attorney's husband arrested in financial scandal. Affair with partner's wife linked to embezzlement charges. The headline blurred as Daniel's mugshot filled the screen, disheveled, handcuffed, forged documents, stolen funds, a mistress's testimony, Lena's testimony. Rachel's office was chaos when I arrived. Assistant scrambled. Phone screamed. Through the glass of her corner office, I saw her frozen, eyes locked on her laptop. You knew, she said when I walked in. The earring, the screenshot, the way Lena studied your files for fun. I said nothing. Rachel laughed hollow. She played all of us. I stormed into the penthouse. The air reeked of citrus and gunpowder. Lena sat at the grand piano, back to me, playing a lullaby I hadn't heard since childhood. You set him up, I said. Her fingers stilled. I gave him rope. He chose to hang himself. Just like he chose to sleep with your wife. I crossed the room in 3 long strides and gripped her wrist. You used me, and you let me. She didn't pull away. But here's the truth, Ethan. You didn't want revenge. You wanted her back. The words hit harder than any punch. The next day, divorce papers arrived. Rachel's signature was already there. Precise. Final. Lena was gone. No note. No goodbye. Just a piano lid left open and a single sheet of music on the stand. La Campanella, a piece about bells that never stop ringing. A year passed. The cafe was quiet when Rachel walked in. She hesitated, then sat across from me. Lena's in Dubai, she said, stirring her coffee. Married to an oil tycoon. I smirked. Of course she is. A pause. Was it worth it? She asked. I slid a newspaper across the table. Daniel sentencing. Lena's diamond-studded hand wrapped around another man's arm. No, I said. Then I looked her in the eye. But I'd do it again. Her lips curled. We drank in silence. The ghost between us finally quiet.